Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with Spellbinders, and we are going to play and be creative with their Sunday Drive Dives collection. So there is a main one, and that is where the car is, and with this die set alone, you can set up Happy Birthday. Alright, you have the car, you have birthday, and then you have happy. Now, there is an add-on that is available, and that is called Hitched. So that, of course, is great for a wedding, anniversary, or anything like that. And then you have the cans coming off of the car. So these are really cute, and they are perfect to dig into your scraps of paper, which is exactly what I did. Now, I cut two of the car, and I'm going to tape one down. I wanted to use that one as the base for it. Now, what's great is that little section, the trunk, where birthday is going to sit, that actually flips up. So I knew I was going to use an embossed background for my scene that I'm creating here. So that's why I actually cut a second one, because if you lift the trunk, you can put your own personal message in there if you want, you know, just congratulations or whatever. You could put, you know, love from whoever, but you do have that ability. So again, more possibilities. So now we're just going to continue to build. So I'm going to start off by putting the wheels on the edge. And what I'm using as my guide, I am using the picture that the dies came with. The one good thing that, you know, with dies or stamps that you get, they give you a picture on the front, and then they also give you a picture on the back. So they are constantly getting you inspiration for each of their pieces. And I'm actually using the one that's on the back of the packaging so that I can see the guide to put the pieces. So the scrap that I'm using, I know, is Desert Storm, and I'm using silver for the chrome work for the car. So here comes the back bumper. I'm going to make sure that that's lined up along the bottom edge. And what's great is this vehicle is to be a convertible. So you have the back piece. Now, I think I put this piece on just a little bit too high. I didn't set it down low enough, because then that aqua piece is, you know, when you have your convertible down, that's what that piece is. So it just looks a little bit differently. Again, no need to stop and start over or rip anything off. We just keep going with it. So we just have those little bits of aqua coming up. I'm going to attach now the front window, and then go into the side mirrors that come off that piece. Oh, and the steering wheel. Tweezers become your best friends when it comes to these smaller pieces. My chubby little fingers, yeah, not gonna work. So I'm just gonna put some glue on the end of that, and then set that right along the edge of the window. And then we're going to do the other one on the other side. And that's what it looks like so far. Now we're going to create, there's a little tiny package that sits on the back, and I'm just going to build that up as well. Now, since I chose brown for my car, I didn't want to go with a wild color for the package, so I just went with a darker shade of brown. I did cut the bow in gold, and I have that coming up off of that. And then you can see the other colors that I chose for the balloons. I mean, they're dark, but yet they're soft. I mean, I didn't go with a rainbow. Kind of went off of the aqua and the colors that would go with that. Once the package is set in place, I'm going to set the back grate just above the trunk, so that if you still wanted to open that, you can. I'm going to set the birthday on top of the glitter, but first I'll set the glitter paper first on the trunk. And I will use an acrylic block so that this does stick down onto the glitter. It does take pressure. It's not something that's instant, as you can see. It does take a while for that to grab a hold. And I will do the same thing when it comes to the balloons. Now the balloons, you can put a letter in there and then use the cutout, and then I just use the cutout to cut out the glitter ones so that they are the background for each of my letters. And again, once I have those set off to the side, I'm good to move that acrylic block on top of those. Just going to add a little bit of glue because I keep forgetting the center of the letters. And then they shall. And there goes that acrylic block. And you can see that it does work. I'm still able to lift up that trunk if I want. And now I've cut some string. Now what I want to do is, before I set that string in place, I'm going to curl it, and that's just running it along my paper creaser or the back of a butter knife, you know, whatever you have to do that. Now I'm going to get all these gathered up, and I'm going to tape them to the back of the car so that they are secured there, because that's where they're coming from. They're coming from the car. And then I will make sure, you'll actually see, I'll pull these through. That's the embossing paper that I used. I'm absolutely in love with that print. It's bubble wrap. Every time I see it, I think of I'm popping the bubble wrap. I just liked the background. Again, just a little bit of texture for it. I'm going to add all of my foam squares. I've pulled my strings to this side of the window because, again, they're coming from the back. And then I'm just going to set my balloons all around as if we're driving and they're going crazy in the wind. I will grab my foam block, and I will grab one of my craft picks and just put the holes in place, because I'm going to pull those strings through the back, or through to the back of that card. And I'll do that with one of my needles. And I'm just going to be grabbing these. I just want to make sure that I'm not knotting them up, because, you know, that's always possible. But I do want them loose. I don't want them tight up against the card. I want to make it look like, by not pulling them tight, I want it to look like they're crazy in the wind, as if somebody was in the car driving. Yeah. So, even though we don't have a person there, it's the thought. So I just want them, you know, those strings are not going to be flat against that. So now I'm just pulling them just a little bit. By curling them, you kind of get that crazy look. And I'm just going to use some Scotch tape just to tape these down so that they will stay in place. And then I'll trim up those edges away from the back. And now we're going to set the balloons in place. So the Y is going to be upside down, just to give it some character. And then the rest of the letters are going to look like they're going crazy. Now I'm just putting the edge of that balloon up to the hole, because again, I don't want to flatten those strings out. I want them to have those shadows, and you can see the shadows, you know, as I'm moving my hand around for my lighting. Now I did have 3 balloons left that were just glitter, and that's okay, because now I'm just going to put these and make it look like that they are still down in the car, so I don't have to add any strings to them. And that is what our card is going to look like. I'm going to adhere it using my liquid adhesive onto my standard A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and mine will be top folding. And that is our project using the Sunday Drive collection from Spellbinders. So I do hope you enjoy it. I know there are others that had inspired me when I put this card together. So please make sure you check them out as well. As always, all the products that I use will be linked down below in the video description. And if you have any questions or comments, please make sure you leave those down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe. Make sure you hit that button. Make sure you ring the bell so that you know when the next video is live. And make sure you also hit the thumbs up. Yes, we ask you to do a lot of things. I do hope everyone is enjoying their day. I hope you are staying safe and healthy through this challenging time that we are all currently experiencing. But remember, if we always be creative, that will help keep our minds off of this as well. So everybody, please take care. Till next time.